Hundreds of paddlers are embarking on a tough physical challenge today. The annual Missouri River 340 race began at Caw Point in KCK this morning, with paddlers fighting 340 miles of the muddy Missouri River. This is the race to St. Charles, Missouri. KMBC 9's Matt Evans is live now in Napoleon, Missouri, as some of those first paddlers are nearing the small river town. Matt?
Yeah, the fastest racers have already gone through Napoleon, but you can see there's still an awful lot of them left out on the river because there are 650 paddlers taking on this thing and more than 400 boats. So really a lot goes into this race. Lots of ground crews here on the banks as well, ready to cheer on these racers and also help them reload supplies as they are just beginning this grueling 340-mile race. Solo racers left Caw Point at 7 o'clock this morning, with teams starting shortly after at 8 a.m. This year, one of the largest turnouts in MR340 history, with all of those people signed up. This is the first year back also since storms and dangerous river conditions caused the race to end early in 2023. Now, after the races, some paddlers will always claim to retire, saying they'll never race again because it's so hard. But as we've learned, these retirements never seem to last in the MR340.
I said I wouldn't do this again, but here I am, of course. But just looking forward to making some memories and hopefully being able to be successful in the process too.
I think we were retired last time we were together, but we've come out of retirement again for one more bout.
I will retire again after this.
Part of the reason people are coming out of the retirements all the time is because the incredible river community here. You can see kids, families, there's a bunch of dogs out here in Napoleon as well. Even a train wanted to say hello. Union Pacific train just moving through some of the train tracks here. Another reason here is the river itself, trying to really get people closer to this incredible resource and the beauty of Mother Nature. We'll talk more about that goal of the race coming up at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock this evening. We're live in Napoleon this afternoon. Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
I'm miserable, my arms hurt, and I'm dehydrated.
Why in the heck are we paddling?
You're going to get on the Missouri River and paddle overnight in the dark. You're going to die.
Go, Christy!
It wears you down from 100 different directions. Only the strong survive, for sure.
You might remember we followed along during the 2022 MR340 for our Chronicle Race for the River, and you can follow along with several teams as they push through this grueling race. You'll get a look at what they experienced there on the Mighty Mo, and you can watch it all now on our very local app. Well, the journey along the Missouri River began this morning for hundreds of competitors. News Chopper 9 was overhead when the MR340 began at Caw Point Park. And there you can see the paddlers, the kayaks, the canoes, and more in the water there. Now, the MR340 is the world's longest non-stop canoe and kayak race.
And KMBC 9's Matt Evans was in Napoleon, Missouri, as racers paddled through earlier today.
It's the 19th year of the Missouri River 340, and a lot of paddlers are tackling the big muddy this year. 650 paddlers, more than, signed up for this race, and more than 400 boats in a race that began at Caw Point in KCK and won't end until 340 miles downriver in St. Charles, Missouri. Here in Napoleon, racers have already tackled 36 miles with obviously lots more to go. This year is one of the largest in MR340 history. It seems to grow every year, which is the goal of the nonprofit Missouri River Relief, which puts on this race every year. They want more and more people to understand how important the Missouri River is, not only to Kansas City, but the entire state of Missouri. Around 43% of the state's population gets their drinking water from this river.
It's easy to get used to the fact that we have what feels like unlimited fresh water here, you know, but when you look worldwide, this is such an important resource that we have right here in our city. Not to mention the historical connections, you know. This river is why Kansas City's here, you know, and it's cool to see that attention being paid back to the river here.
It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of training, and a lot of support to put this race on and for racers to finish this race. We will introduce you to some of the racers and their ground support crews coming up at 5 and 6. In Napoleon, Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
And if you're interested in signing up or following along with the race, you can find more information online at MR340.org. You know, we followed along during the 2022 MR340 for our Chronicle Race for the River. You can see the journey of several teams as they push through the grueling race and get a look at what they experienced on the Mighty Mo. You can watch it now on our very local app.
Well, right now it's the biggest race of the year on the Missouri River.
We're talking about the MR340. Hundreds of paddlers are on a 340-mile trek from Kansas City to St. Charles. The goal is to finish the race by Friday. News Chopper 9 got a look at the racers this morning. KMBC 9's Matt Evans has been with them on the ground.
We're here in Napoleon, Missouri, where some racers in the MR340 will take some of their first pit stops. And as they come through Napoleon, they've already gone 36 miles. That means they still have more than 300 to go.
1, 2, 3, lift.
The annual tradition of paddlers coming out of retirement is back.
I said I wouldn't do this again, but here I am, of course.
Case Reisinger is one of the more than 650 paddlers taking on the Big Muddy this week. And this year he's back on a team with his 2022 tandem teammate in Garen Robinette.
I think we were retired last time we were together, but we've come out of retirement again.
It's the 19th year of this grueling race that always seems to somehow draw people back in.
It kind of gives you tingles when you see this many people down here.
Nonprofit Missouri River Relief puts on the race with the goal of connecting more and more people to the river and to help keep it clean.
And the race just keeps bringing people down that learn to love this river. And it shows. It shows around us. It's a really beautiful scene.
It takes hundreds of volunteers on the ramps and grounds crew members to support the racers, including former Royals pitcher Jamie Bluma, who's on the ground crew for his fiance, who's on this boat of 3 women.
And it's energy. That's the funny thing about not sleeping for a couple days is you're so wired. Every time you get to a ramp, you see people you know, people that you're rooting for.
There will be many more stops like this before racers hit St. Charles. The very first boats are expected to finish there sometime tomorrow night. In Napoleon, Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
And if you think you can tackle the world's longest nonstop river race, you can sign up for next year's race, or you can learn more online at MR340.org. Now, right now, you can see what it takes to conquer that grueling journey on KMBC 9 Chronicle Race for the River, the MR340. It's available now on our free streaming app, Very Local.
Right now, hundreds of paddlers are challenging the Missouri River for the world's largest nonstop river race. The MR340 ends in St. Charles, Missouri. KMBC 9's Matt Evans was miles from the start in Napoleon, Missouri, as racers zoom through.
Even though paddlers have been on the river for hours as they pass through Napoleon, this is only mile number 36 of a 340-mile race all across Missouri. So there's a lot of racing left to go. Some racers will not stop, will not sleep until they reach the finish line in St. Charles. And even though this is a race, many racers do take some time to appreciate the natural beauty of the river.
You get a chance to get out there and see Missouri from the water. It's a different perspective, and it's just an amazing thing that the state has and should continue to keep protected and clean and accessible to everybody who wants to be on there.
While there are more than 650 paddlers out on the water, there are also hundreds and hundreds of people that are supporting them, changing out supplies at boat ramps, tracking their progress as well. One ground crew member is Jamie Bluma, a former Royals pitcher who's helping out his fiance, Emily McNeil, who's racing with a group of 2 other women. And he says to even finish this race, you have to be a serious athlete.
People don't realize it too, because most people that finish in the top 5 in each category don't sleep much. And there's hallucinations, there's all the things, dehydration, all the different things. So until you've done it in under 50 hours, or some people do it under 40 hours, you just don't realize the grueling race that it really can be. Some of the very first boats are expected at the finish line in St. Charles sometime tomorrow night. In Napoleon, Missouri, Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
Bluma, a former professional athlete. If you're interested in signing up for next year or want to follow the race this year, go to MR340.org. Also, right now, you can see what it takes to conquer that grueling journey on our KMBC 9 Chronicle Race for the River, the MR340. It's available right now on our free streaming app, Very Local.